I'm Chris O'Neill from Sew the Distance. Today I'm going to show you a technique that is a foundation pieced block. And it's where you take a foundation, in this case I'm going to use muslin, and you actually sew on top of it. So I recorded this tutorial yesterday, and just to be completely honest, when I was editing it, I noticed that I never actually explained that when you're putting the second piece on, you're putting it right sides together. So your very first piece is right side up, or pretty side up, like the crafty Gemini says, and then your second piece is right sides or pretty side against that. And then you sew. So I did put some notes on the screen to remind you of that, but I did forget to say the very basic part of this for the stitch and flip method. Anyway, let's get started. I'll show you the tutorial, and I'll be back with you afterward. So this vintage quilt was made by using a foundation fabric to stitch the pieces onto. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do that. So the first thing you need is a base, and I just have some muslin scraps here, and the quilt actually has 7.5-inch squares that are unfinished. I am going to do, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7.5. I want to make it a little bigger because the seam allowance is going to take up some space. So if I want to do it exactly that size, I'm going to make it a bit bigger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, let's do that. So I'm going to cut this roughly. It does not have to be perfect. This is a super forgiving method. Let's do but 9 by 9. That way we can trim it down if we want to. You could maybe even do 8 by 8. It just really depends on the size you want, and you can also adjust it as needed. So this is your foundation, and like I said, it's a very forgiving method. So I have some scraps here from my vintage collection. I'm just going to pull some out. I thought I'd do red because of Valentine's Day this week, and I'm going to find one. Let's see. Oh, you know what? Maybe we'll do these little paper doll girls. Yeah, let's do that. So I'm going to cut a piece that I like. Sorry guys, I'm going to break you up here. I'm going to place it right there. Right in the center of the block. Notice I have a little crease here. That's okay. We can press that out too. And then you're going to take another piece of fabric. A strip is good, but you don't have to. Let's do this one. And I'm going to just eyeball it and cut a piece that's going to go against this side. And then I'm going to take it over to the sewing machine. You can see I stitched that down. There's the back. I used a contrasting fabric, or contrasting thread rather, to show you, but you can use matching. It really doesn't matter. Like I said, it's super forgiving. You're just going to press this over, go like this, and we're going to take another piece of fabric, and we want to make sure that it will cover from here to here. We can even cut this one shorter if we want, so you can have that look, but you do want to find something that's going to cover it, and that is not. Let's see what else we have in here for scraps. What about a pink? Pink would be interesting. That's Christmassy. Don't know if I want Christmassy for this. Oh, how about this one? This is a nice scrap. So I am going to take it and I'm going to eyeball it to get my full coverage. Place it on here, and I'm going to see how this is cut in. I want to make sure I cover that too, and I can put it even at an angle. I know I'm cutting off some of the girl, but that's okay. It is going to be worth it. All right, I think I'm going to do it here. along this side. So notice that it covers both edges, and I'm going to go to the machine. Okay, move my pile out of the way. All right, so now I could just do this and call it a day. If I wanted to, to do this, you're going to have more thickness here. I also have a thread from the fabric. But it might be worth it just to pull these stitches out and trim that away. It's really up to you. You could keep going with this. I'm just going to quickly unsew those pieces, fold this back, and I can even use scissors, or I can use a ruler and rotary cutter. Here's my ruler. And I'm just going to put a 1/4 inch, but I don't need to. It can be even 1/2 inch. It's very forgiving. Cut that away, put that back into my scrap pile. Open this up, press it with my hands. The heat of your hands will do fine. I know I cut her off. Hopefully we'll try to save this one over here a little bit. Maybe the best friends had a huge fight and they don't get along anymore or something like that. I don't know. And then your next one, you're going to go along this edge. And notice how, I might not want all these scallops anyway, so I'm going to just take this guy. Look at that, it almost fits perfectly. I swear I did not plan that. I'm going to take it to the sewing machine. Okay, and that's stitched. It can be folded just like that. I could unsew that if I wanted to. I'm not going to. I'm just going to trim these guys off a little bit. So just trim those away and then fold and keep going. Let's see, ooh, this might be interesting. So again, you're going for that whole scrappy look. Okay, I like that. And you want it to kind of just be very whimsical, and it's really just a cool way to showcase some fabrics and to just use up some of your scraps. So I'm going to lay that here, and I'm going to go to the sewing machine and sew that down. There you go. Notice I don't use a 1/4 inch. I just use the side of my presser foot for this. I'm not stressing about that. I am going to pull this out because this might shadow. Actually, it might not, but and trim that away. Fold it. Finger press it. Now it's okay that this came over the sides because we're going to trim up this block, okay? So it's okay that it did that. All right, and then we're going to keep going around. Let me see. Something. Oh, this is kind of cool. I kind of like that with the blues. But again, you got to, sometimes getting away from matching is the way to go. And you know what? I'm not going to use it because it's not going to quite be long enough for what I want. Let me see. Find something else. If I can. Oh, this is kind of nice. Okay, and this is nice and long. All right, I'm going to hang that over. And at this point, I can come in, I can lean it at an angle, I can play with the design a little bit more. You can audition it that way. But I am going to just go across like this. Just to get this out of the way, I'm going to get rid of some of this bulk. It's messy. If you are like a type A personality, you might hate this. I know my husband would hate the mess. And we come back. I could really remove that. Yeah, I will. And I'm just snipping the threads and pulling them out like that. I could use a seam ripper, but it's all the way across the room. Do I really want to go get it? When you trim these down, make sure you don't cut your foundation. And then you just press this over like that. Finger press it with your hands. Okay, and then you keep going. Let's find another long piece. That one we've used. That one we've used too. I mean, it doesn't matter, I guess, if you've used them. Oh, let's use this guy. And I am going to go, so let me lay my block out here. I think I'm going to go here. Okay, and I'm just going to place it maybe even like that. And I'm going to take it to the machine. Okay, so now we do have some extra, but this is a pretty dark print. I'm not going to worry about that. I'm not going to worry about cutting it over. So what I am worried about, however, is making sure that I'm covering my entire foundation, which I did. All right, let's see, another fabric. Let's dig in here a little deeper, see if we can find some interesting prints. Ooh, that purple's nice. Do I want a purple with it? Again, I overthink this. I need to stop overthinking it. Let's get something a little wider. Ooh, this pink's nice. Do I have enough? Maybe. What about this guy? Reach back in here. Ooh, these guys are cute, but I think I want something darker. Ooh, I like that. All right, let me get this out of the way so we can see. Probably the best way to do this is to have no rhyme or reason, but I have to have a little bit of the control. Ooh, I like that. That's nice. So is this though. Ooh. You know what? Let's do this one. It's not big enough. Dang it. We might do this one. Yeah. Let's do this one, and then we'll probably have to do yet another one, but that's okay, because that'll show you how to do that. Just gonna cut that. This one, I just want to, you don't have to have a straight edge, but it does kind of help to guide your foot, but it's not necessary either. Okay, so I sewed that on, and you can see it's a little short over here, so I'm going to just put another piece. I also got my iron going, so I'm going to press this really well when I'm done. And let's see, let's use this guy. And I'm just going to place it like this, so it's right sides together, okay? And then I'm going to stitch here. I'm going to show you, and so yeah, right here. And then I'm going to show you how I trim the whole thing down. All right, so I sewed along this edge, and I am going to just trim this away. Okay, so notice I folded this back, and I just trimmed away. Then I'm going to lay this here, and then I am going to go and give this a really good press. And there you go. This is the, and I'll turn it around so you can see it that way. The camera's upside down, so you can see that this is my block, and I'm going to show you how to trim it. But first I'm going to clean up my mess here. stuff these back in. Get rid of some of the excess because we're going to have even more scraps. That's the thing, when you make scrap quilts, that as you make them, you get more scraps. If you didn't see one of my first videos, I use these cheap vases that you get flowers in, and I stuff my fabrics, my scrap fabrics, especially my vintage fabrics, into these. And then they're on display and real pretty too. All right, I think I got most of it. Okay, so now you can flip this over and you can see your foundation is here. Now, you could stitch around the edge if you want to hold it down, but you don't have to. I didn't get that real good with the iron, but you don't have to. So I'm going to show you what you do. So we made this, how big do we make it? 9 by 9. So I can trim this down to whatever size I want at this point. Or I can just trim along these edges until I know what I'm going to do. And that's what I'm actually going to do. So there's more scraps. Turn this guy around. And I know that this possibly is not square because I'm not lining anything up, but I just want to show you what it looks like. And then I'm going to show you how to even trim it down more. And turn this again. So this just gives it a nice look, cleaned up. Look how pretty. I love it. Turn it around so you can see. So if I wanted to, I could take even, like this is a 6.5 inch square, and I could tilt it different ways and cut around that to square it up, or even like keep it straight like this, and you can get some really cool looks. You can move it down, move it around, however you want to cut your block, or you can just line it up and cut it to the size you want. So let's do that. I'm gonna line this guy up, and it is so forgiving that you know it doesn't really matter how you cut it, because it's still gonna be a cool block and it's gonna still be a cool crazy quilt block. So I think I'm gonna use this, and I'm just gonna pick a spot, and I can make it a little tilted. I can turn it this way. With the blue border, it looks better on the recording, so that's why I did it. But I think I'm just gonna straighten it up like this, and then I'm just gonna cut around all the edges. Okay. So as you can see, there's your block. Isn't it cute? And just imagine that with sashing and even different colorways, like you could do this one in pinks, maybe the next one in blue, which actually I might do. That would be a lot of fun to do. And you could have a really cute quilt using up your scraps. I hope you enjoyed making this adorable block. I was thinking you could even practice like some of your embroidery stitches if you do hand embroidery, or even on your machine. Maybe I'll do that and update maybe for next week during my vlog or something, and stitch right on this. It would be adorable, and keep making them. It's so cute. It's a fun method. It's a great way to use up those scraps. So I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day, and I will see you soon. Bye.